Hello, I'm Alara, and today we're talking about the secret foods that make eggs obsolete for muscle growth. And forget the expensive protein powder. Your muscle solution is cheap, simple, and sitting in your pantry. I've learned that stronger seniors mean fewer walkers, fewer prescriptions, and total independence. The key to muscle repair isn't a quick protein spike. It's a slow-release casein protein while you sleep. Cottage cheese is my overnight secret weapon. 25 grams of slow-digesting protein to feed my muscles till morning. Using the science, casein consumption before bed significantly increases overnight muscle protein synthesis. You need your muscles to actively repair and grow while you sleep, not just after your workout. For me, half a cup of cottage cheese solved the stiff, aching legs I used to wake up with every morning. If you're over 60, eggs are inefficiently absorbed. Why waste effort on protein your body can't use? Tofu is a muscle-building powerhouse because its isoflavones gently support the hormonal balance we lose with age. The loss of estrogen accelerates muscle loss, and tofu helps me maintain strength and protect my stability. As a complete plant protein, tofu gives my muscles all 9 essential amino acids without the heaviness or cholesterol of red meat. I use baked tofu twice a week. I noticed less joint pain and smoother morning walks almost immediately. Chickpeas are the cheapest, most underestimated muscle repair food hiding right in your kitchen. 1 cup of chickpeas delivers 15 grams of protein and steady energy that prevents those shaky, sugary afternoon crashes. Chickpeas are packed with zinc and magnesium, essential minerals for smooth muscle contractions and tissue repair. I swapped my old white bread sandwiches for chickpea salads, and my afternoon fatigue vanished entirely. Sardines are not just for emergencies. They are absolute muscle-building powerhouses in a tiny can. And the high omega-3s in sardines don't just reduce inflammation. They actively enhance muscle protein synthesis. I eat sardines twice a week for the potent dose of vitamin D and calcium that keeps my bone foundation strong. That small can of fish gives my muscles the protein they needed and my joints the anti-inflammatory support they'd been starving for. Millet is the ancient superfood that fuels my muscles without the blood sugar spikes of refined grains. The magnesium and iron in millet keep my blood flow strong, ensuring oxygen reaches the healing muscle tissues. I replaced my morning white toast with millet porridge, and my legs no longer tremble when I stand up. Mussels may seem fancy, but they are one of the cheapest, most powerful muscle-building foods available today. Mussels deliver taurine, an amino acid that specifically protects my aging muscle tissue from decline. And my grip strength, a key longevity predictor, dramatically improved after I added mussel stew to my weekly routine. Nori seaweed is a silent giant, loaded with iodine, magnesium, and peptides for muscle recovery. And nori's bioactive peptides are tiny protein fragments proven to enhance my muscle performance and reduce inflammation. I snack on crumbled roasted nori over my soups. It's effortless, cheap, and gives my muscles an edge. Spirulina, the blue-green algae powder, is a complete protein that enhances oxygen delivery to my tired muscles. The phycocyanin antioxidant in spirulina rebuilds worn fibers and prevents that deep, chronic fatigue. I add a single teaspoon of spirulina to my morning smoothie. My legs feel lighter and I climb stairs without gasping. Tiger nuts, or earth almonds, are tubers that boost nitric oxide, widening blood vessels for maximum nutrient delivery. The high arginine in tiger nuts ensures more oxygen finally reaches my muscles, making standing and walking easier. Teff grain is the Ethiopian secret, packed with lysine, essential for building collagen and strong connective tissue. Lysine in teff strengthens the tendons and ligaments, giving my new muscle a firm foundation to attach to. And I replaced my white rice with teff porridge, And the lightness in my legs is incredible, and I move with confidence. Eggs are a nutritional dead end for efficient muscle building after 60. We need smarter protein sources. And don't let the medical industry ignore these simple, cheap foods. Stronger seniors mean they lose money. My muscle loss isn't inevitable. What I eat every day can stop and even reverse sarcopenia. I choose foods that rebuild muscle and protect my connective tissue simultaneously, like teff and mussels. I always have cottage cheese as my last meal of the day, and it's the ultimate sleep and grow strategy. The calcium and phosphorus in cottage cheese ensure my bones stay strong enough to support my newly built muscle. I'm targeting the anti-inflammatory power of omega-3s in sardines and the isoflavones in tofu for joint health. I use tiger nuts not just for protein, but for the resistant starch that feeds my gut microbiome. Stronger legs mean a drastically reduced risk of dangerous falls. It's about functional independence. I refuse to buy expensive, heavily processed protein bars when chickpeas and tofu do the job better and cheaper. I use my food choices to actively signal my body to rebuild and regenerate, not decay. I believe that my kitchen is my ultimate pharmacy, stocked with muscle-building miracles. I always check the label. If it's full of processed oils or added sugars, it's anti-longevity fuel. I'm constantly looking for high-quality, budget-friendly proteins. Being healthy shouldn't require a second mortgage. I now prioritize foods that improve my oxygen delivery, like spirulina and tiger nuts, for sustained endurance. I use millet as a staple grain because it's naturally gluten-free and gentle on my sensitive digestion. My weekly cottage cheese recipe includes a handful of walnuts for extra omega-3s and crunch. Then I learned that even small changes, like swapping white toast for millet, yield massive compound health benefits. I use tofu in my scrambles instead of eggs, ensuring a complete protein that aids hormonal balance. I treat my nori sheets as healthy, mineral-rich snacks instead of reaching for chips. My muscles are finally getting the micronutrients they crave, not just the protein I thought they needed. I commit to being active daily. These foods are the fuel, but movement is the engine, remember that. I eat mussels because they contain vitamin B12, essential for nerve health so my muscles can contract powerfully. I use my new strength to lift my heavy garden pots easily. Functional fitness is the real goal. I'm teaching my grandchildren that building muscle is the best life insurance policy they can buy. And a clarity of mind is linked to my muscle health. The omega-3s in sardines are feeding both my brain and my bicep. I use the vitamin B12 in sardines and mussels to keep my nerves sharp, which translates to lightning-fast thinking. And I find that the high magnesium in chickpeas and tiger nuts gives me incredible emotional resilience against daily frustrations. And if I feel irritable, I know I need my calming mineral, magnesium. I reach for a chickpea snack instead of lashing out. The steady, slow energy from millet prevents the mental fog that causes me to forget names or appointments. I am challenging my brain with puzzles during my daily walk to synchronize my muscle and cognitive growth. I believe tofu's isoflavones help stabilize my mood, giving me a calmer, more reflective perspective on life. I use the high iodine in nori to support my thyroid, which is the master gland controlling my energy and focus. I'm building a resilience budget, dedicating 10% of my food spending to high-impact, cheap foods like teff and chickpeas. My strong legs allow me to walk to the farmer's market weekly, saving gas money and ensuring I get the freshest produce. I refuse to pay for expensive longevity supplements when spirulina gives me oxygenation and complete protein for pennies. I budget for high-quality protein first,
Cottage cheese and mussels are non-negotiable investments in my future independence. Financial freedom requires a healthy body. If I'm frail, I can't manage my own affairs. Remember that, Alara.
My goal is to be functionally independent at 90, being able to lift my own suitcase, not just a dumbbell. I practice carrying heavy grocery bags often. That strength comes from the lysine in teff and the taurine in mussels.
My improved balance, a benefit of core strength and steady fuel from millet, prevents costly hospital trips from falls. I use the anti-inflammatory power of the foods to keep my fingers flexible for fine motor skills like knitting and painting. I schedule a difficult conversation right after my chickpea lunch. The sustained energy helps me stay calm and composed. I believe that mental clarity is my most valuable anti-aging asset, and I feed it with clean fats and complete proteins. I'm using my renewed energy from spirulina to finally learn the piano. It challenges both my body and brain. I read complex nonfiction right after my sardine snack. The omega-3s prime my brain for learning.
I'm using the money I save on steak to buy high-quality, whole food grains like teff and millet.
I see the muscle I build as independence insurance, ensuring I never need full-time care. My tofu scramble fuels my day and helps me maintain a calm, centered mindset. I practice standing on one foot while checking emails. My teff-fueled tendons keep me stable. I use the improved circulation from tiger nuts to keep my hands warm and flexible for long hours of writing. My confidence comes from my capability. Strong muscles are the foundation of self-assurance. I'm teaching myself basic coding. The consistent energy from cottage cheese casein prevents the mental fatigue. So I believe that aging should be a period of growth and contribution, not frailty and decline. I use a mental trick. When I crave junk food, I remind myself that food costs should be about return on health. My commitment to muscle health means I can still dance at weddings without fearing injury.
I always eat my nori snack before I start a creative project. The minerals and peptides boost my focus.
I replaced my sugary afternoon energy bar with a spoonful of spirulina mixed into water. I'm using the money I save on supplements to invest in an ergonomic chair for better posture. My ability to bounce back from emotional setbacks is greatly helped by my stable blood sugar and magnesium levels. I view the fiber in chickpeas not just for digestion, but as an essential part of my blood sugar management. And
I make a high-protein, low-carb cottage cheese parfait with walnuts and cinnamon for breakfast.
I choose foods that protect my cognitive reserve, like the B12 and omega-3s in sardines. My mussels are my retirement fund. I invest in them daily with the best, most efficient proteins. I use the time saved from less cooking to volunteer, giving me a sense of purpose and social connection. And I believe purposeful living is the best anti-aging prescription available. I make sure my post-workout meal includes teff to maximize the repair of the connective tissue around my joints. I use the sustained energy from millet to complete long, complex home repair projects myself. I practice mindfulness during my oil pulling ritual. It's a 10-minute mental and physical cleanse. My goal is not to be immortal, but to live the last decade of my life with zero physical assistance. I always keep a bag of raw tiger nuts soaked in water for a soft, easily digestible snack. I'm teaching my family that food is information, and we choose the strongest, cleanest information possible. I feel a surge of confidence, knowing my body is operating on premium, efficiently absorbed fuel. I use the nori peptides to improve my hair and nail strength, which are visible markers of internal health.
I commit to laughing until my stomach hurts every day. Laughter is the best core exercise, Elara.
I see the small cost of muscles as a necessary payment for robust connective tissue and flexible joints. I remind myself that every vegetable, grain, and protein I eat is a choice for strength over stagnation. I now prioritize foods that promote a calm, stable nervous system over quick, fleeting energy bursts. I use the consistent energy from my protein-rich diet to be a patient, present grandmother. I believe that my ability to learn new things is protected by the clean energy from my food choices. I always eat my tofu with a little bit of healthy fat, like olive oil, to maximize nutrient absorption.
I use the spirulina boost to power through the afternoon slump, ensuring my focus remains laser sharp.
My financial plan includes budgeting for high-quality, whole foods, viewing it as preventative health care.
I always buy canned sardines packed in olive oil for the cleanest, most effective fat and omega-3 delivery.
I believe that taking control of my muscle health is the ultimate act of empowerment at this stage of life. I use the discipline of eating clean muscle food to maintain discipline in other areas of my life.
My favorite morning drink is a small amount of teff porridge mixed with a touch of honey and cinnamon. I always pack a handful of roasted chickpeas when I travel. They are convenient, stable, and incredibly filling.
I'm consciously choosing foods that naturally lower inflammation, preventing the body from being in a constant repair state. I use my clear mind, fueled by clean protein, to teach complex skills to my colleagues and friends. I believe that my physical strength should enable my intellectual curiosity, not limit it. I'm teaching myself to meditate immediately after my muscle-building meal to optimize the rest and digest state. I use my food choices to actively support my emotional stability. I choose calm over chaos on my plate. I always pair my tofu with high vitamin C vegetables to enhance the iron and zinc absorption. I view every millet recipe I try as a way to diversify my gut health and build stronger foundations. My financial security plan is based on the assumption that I will be healthy enough to live independently for many more decades. I believe that the longevity secret is not a pill, but the consistent, humble power of simple, whole foods. I always keep a bag of dried teff flour on hand for quick, high-lysine flatbreads. I use a mental mantra, taurine for my tendons, lysine for my life, to remember my key nutrients. I believe my ability to maintain my body weight comes from the satiety of slow-digesting protein, like casein. I always pack my own snacks. External food choices often compromise my muscle-building goals.
I use the money I save by avoiding takeout meals to invest in high-quality, grass-fed butter for my cooking.
I believe that my physical independence is the greatest gift I can give myself and my family. I make a point of standing up and walking around every 30 minutes. Stillness is the enemy of muscle health.
I'm constantly looking for cost-effective ways to get my omega-3s, and sardines are always the answer. So I use the clean energy from spirulina to power my 2-hour art class in the afternoon.
I believe that being capable is the most beautiful thing about aging.
I always add a little black pepper and olive oil to my tofu dishes to enhance the absorption of fat-soluble nutrients.
I view every serving of these superfoods as a daily dose of independence insurance. I'm committed to diversifying my protein sources. Variety is the spice of life and muscle growth. I make sure my emotional well-being is as high a priority as my muscle health. They are intrinsically linked. I use the improved oxygen flow from tiger nuts to power through my most strenuous physical therapy exercises.
I always keep a bag of dried mussels in my pantry for a quick, zinc-rich, tendon-supporting snack.
I'm teaching myself to listen to my body's cravings and interpret them as a cry for minerals or clean protein. I use my renewed energy to pursue adventurous travel that requires physical stamina and resilience. I believe that the small grain of teff holds the mighty secret to robust, long-term connective tissue health. Feed your muscles wisely, live independently, and age with power. Stock your fridge with cottage cheese. Your overnight repair crew is waiting.